We're 1.5 years into the build of our 50-foot sailboat. Most recently, we turned the hull around, and we have removed all the temporary frames and support stands from the inside of the hull. We've removed everything from the hull and cleaned up and organized in the barn.
It's looking so nice in here, but outside it's totally chaos.
We'll have 2 lengthwise stringers just next to the keel area here. Today will be another day of sanding, maybe not the whole day, but a big part of it. I'm hoping I can finish the rest of the hull today so I can continue filling all the holes with the thickened epoxy so we can get the hull prepped for fiberglass on the inside. Once I have everything sanded, I'm thinking I will put my attention to the keel pocket area. Try to remove that board that is kind of stuck and also the tape, so we get that area prepped as well. Yeah, this was a lot more work than I first thought it would be. It was a big mistake using that tape and the board. The tape has gotten stuck to the laminate, which normally hasn't been the case when I've been using this tape, but this time it's been sitting there for quite some time. I don't know if that has affected it in some way, but this time it's really stuck to the laminate, and the same with the board. I can't peel that off. So I just have to grind everything off, which takes quite some time. It's just annoying. In my mind it was just to peel this off, but it turned out not to be so easy. So I'm just taking some measurements and making some markings on the hull where the shame plates are going to sit, because we're going to have reinforcement here on the inside with unidirectional fiberglass running like a band all the way across here, a few layers, in addition to the semi-bulkheads that we will also have here. And the actual shame plates will sit on the outside here and will be bolted straight through the hull. So we need to have a really strong area here because the loads from the stays are pretty big.
Johan cuts the fiberglass. And then he mixes the epoxy. Before Johan started laminating, he filled up the holes and uneven areas around the keel pocket.
I laminated one layer of fiberglass and put peel ply on top.
In a couple of weeks, we're opening up the farm to all of our patrons, and it's gonna be so much fun. If you want to come as well, click into our Patreon page to find the invitation.
So the first piece of fiberglass on the inside of the hull is in place. This was just to tie the outside together with the inside before we continue here. And there will be a lot more glass in this area moving forward. We need to have a bit over 20 millimeters solid glass here. And that means that we need to add 25 to 30 layers of 600 gram fiberglass in this area. And we will also tie that in with the fiberglass coming down from the sides here. We will overlap going all the way over to this side from both sides. So it will be plenty thick and strong over the whole keel area. And then of course on top of that we will have that keel grid to take up the loads from the keel. And then a bit in front of that we'll have an area where the keel grid will be extra strong, since we have a lot of compression forces coming down from the mast in that area. So there's quite a lot of thinking to be done. So I'm just using the laser to line up the position of the chain plates, so I know where I should position that band of unidirectional fiberglass.
Vera and I both got a cold this week with fever, so that's why we haven't been out in the barn.
Hej Vera!
Vi ska cykla.
Ska ni cykla?
Ja, till det skulle jag verkligen cykla vi tillbaks.
Ja, vad kul! Ha så kul när ni cyklar. Syns vi om en stund. So the only reason I'm doing this, filling all these small screw holes, it's not for adding any strength or anything. I don't think it really matters. It's just that I found out that if I'm not filling them, the chance of air bubbles forming beneath the fiberglass once we start laminating is a lot higher when you have holes like this. And also now laminating in the summer, we have to start kind of late in the day, so we're laminating when the temp is going down. Otherwise, yeah, the risk is pretty high that we get air bubbles forming beneath the fiberglass. So I guess we're going to have some pretty late nights out here once we start laminating. Because yesterday, when I did the bottom part here, I couldn't start until around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it of course depends on how the weather is that day, how warm it is. But that's one big difference now during the summer compared to when we were laminating in the winter. Then the problem was that it was cold, but it was in a way easier because it was easier to control how warm it was in here. And we could also lower the temp by just lowering the thermostat on the heater. So this is the unidirectional cloth that we're going to use as extra reinforcement around the shame plates in the same load path as we have from the top stays. And this cloth is pretty heavy. It's 1200 gram per square meter. This roll is 100 meter long and 250 wide, so I'm thinking this should be enough to do all the reinforcements on both sides. Since it's pretty heavy, it will be a challenge to get it fully saturated. So I'm thinking we'll do the same with this one as we did with all the cloth on the outside of the hull, using a saturation table. So I'm thinking this will be the next step now, getting this cloth in place before we start with the rest of the lamination. Today is going to be a really warm day, and I have promised almost 30 degrees today. And now it's a bit after 8 in the morning and it's already around 25. So we didn't pick the best time of the year to try to grow a new lawn out here, new grass. So we try to water it down every evening and morning, but we're a bit limited on how much water we can take out from the well. So some rain would have been nice now. Yeah. But anyway, yesterday I cut out some lengths of the unidirectional that I will use for the reinforcement around the shame plates. This is not all of it, but I will start with this. But it's a bit too warm now, and I will wait until later on this afternoon before I start laminating. So I will do the prep work now. I will need to sand that area. There are some epoxy patches that I need to sand. And I also need to draw some more lines at the correct angles. Because not all of these will go in the direct load path of the top stay. I will have a few of them at different angles, aft and forward of the ones that goes just straight down. It is really hot in here now. It's almost like a baking oven. All the prep work is done, so I can start laminate. One thing that I won't do this time is to coat the cedar before we start laminating, because I tried it out here at the bottom piece. As long as you do the lamination when the temp is going down, it was actually okay not to prime the cedar before. I was a bit worried when we did the outside that the cedar will suck too much of the epoxy in and starve the laminate, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So we're going to try to do this directly on the cedar, just wet the cloth out first and then start laminating. But that will be in next week's episode. Now I think we're going to head over to the beach instead. So thanks a lot for watching, and we hope to see you again next Friday. So take care, bye bye.